I've been hustling with comics for like 10 years, dropping hit after hit, but I'm still scraping by. My agent, who's also my boyfriend, and my sis were bawling their eyes out, saying the economy was straight up terrible. They claimed the studio splurged big time on me, but they're still drowning in debt. They kept on pushing me to keep updating so I wouldn't let them down. But while they had me locked up in a basement chowing down on instant noodles and stale bread, they were living it up in some posh villa, throwing epic parties and getting all lovey-dovey. Later on, I discovered my sister swiped my pen name and turned herself into this mega comic genius. Meanwhile, my boyfriend was swimming in cash. I ended up burning out from overworking in that basement. When I finally kicked the bucket from all that stress, I woke up back on the day my first comic was about to wrap up. Youth is priceless, right? So I ditched all my comic drafts and bounced straight to Norway. Ava, hustle up and draw. What are you daydreaming about? You haven't even finished the ending. My sister's irritated complaints pulled me back to reality. I looked around the cold, damp basement and saw the shabby wooden bed I was stuck on. It hit me. I'd been reborn. I stared at the screen of the old computer showing my first original comic, feeling a lump form in my throat. Drawing comics had been my dream since I was a kid. In my past life, my boyfriend and sis used my passion to screw me over. After graduating, I started working on my first comic, but I was super socially anxious, just knew how to draw, but had no clue how to make bank. My boyfriend and sister promised to quit their jobs to help me, and even took out loans to set up a studio. I felt lucky and grateful to have family ready to back me 100%. Little did I know they'd stab me in the back and push me into the abyss. My sister kept nagging in the background. Ava, do you know we owe $500,000 because of the studio? You better hustle unless you want us stuck with debt forever. She shoved me, telling me to keep drawing. The rusty iron door of the basement creaked open. My boyfriend Alex walked in, looking stressed and frowning at me. Ava, your latest work flopped. The studio's in deep financial trouble. Sarah's so stressed she got sick with a fever. He showed me his phone, asking me to peep the readers' comments. They were all negative vibes. Some folks were whining I was slow, others said the quality was trash. From the jump, they cut off internet in the basement, saying they didn't want me influenced by outside opinions. They even used fake web pages to make me think I was trash. Unaware my work was actually blowing up online, I kept grinding myself to exhaustion in that suffocating basement, day in and day out, feeling guilty about their supposed sacrifices. My comics were out there, but my boyfriend said they weren't making money. I comforted myself, thinking if I just kept pushing, things would turn around. Then one day I stumbled on a short vid. The title read, "Genius comic artist Luna's book signing, the goddess looked stunning." I clicked it and saw my sister smiling sweetly, signing my work and making heart signs. I turned pale. My hands shook as I searched my pen name. That's when I realized my sister had taken it and became a famous comic artist. She grabbed all my hard work, soaking up the glam and fan love. Meanwhile, I was stuck in a dark, dingy basement, scruffy and too tight to even turn on the AC. For years, I survived on instant noodles and leftovers, never getting a single dime in royalties. Shocked and heartbroken, I rushed to confront my sister for answers. I finally caught her at a party in a lavish villa. She was kissing my boyfriend of 5 years. Then they popped champagne, celebrating another one of my hits, laughing and acting carefree. To everyone at the party, drink up and grab $5,000 each from me to celebrate our star studio hitting $1 billion in revenue. Guests cheered loud while my mind went blank and I felt freezing cold. That day I wandered back to the basement, feeling a sharp pain in my chest. Curled up in a corner, my consciousness drifted away. Faintly, I remembered the 5 all-nighters I pulled for a new project. The chest pain was there, but it wasn't as suffocating as the despair weighing me down. In this life, I'm never making the same mistakes. I'm taking everything back. My sister hasn't pretended to be me yet. I just need a chance to prove that Luna, the author of the first comic, is me. Then I can reclaim everything that's rightfully mine. With that thought, I spoke up quick. Alex, Sarah, it's on me for not being good enough. I'll finish the ending tonight and start the next one. You guys go home. They exchanged a satisfied glance and bounced. Once they were gone, I snuck out of the basement. I hit up a spot with internet and set up a social media account under comic author Luna. I was hyped and quickly posted some previews of my next work along with pics of my sketches. These were things I hadn't been able to share with my boyfriend and sis yet, definitely my proof. Seeing my follower count skyrocket, I started planning my next moves. How to sue and get my royalties back and break free from this vampiric studio. That's when my sister called. Her voice was full of rage. "Sis, how could you drop content the studio hasn't released yet? And your social media account? It was supposed to be one we set up. Why aren't you cooperating? We're so disappointed in you." A few seconds later, I heard my boyfriend's voice on the other end. "Ava, I just don't get it. What's your deal? My sister and I worry about you every day, and instead of drawing comics, you're doing this." I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. This ain't over. My work is blowing up online. It's a top seller, yet I haven't seen a dime. I'm breaking the contract with you guys. Wait till I sue you. I hung up. That night, I posted on social media. Star Studio has never paid me a single penny for my work, and I'm going to make sure that changes. My fans are stunned. They're making so much money but not paying the author. Heartless capitalists. Support the author. Fight for your rights. Seeing their comments, a smile spread across my face. This time, I'm not letting you leech off me anymore. I thought I could quickly grab what was mine, but didn't expect Star Studio to drop a statement 2 days later. The comic author Luna on social media is not the Luna from Star Studio. This person is suspected of plagiarism and leaking business secrets. Please verify facts carefully, and we reserve the right to hold them accountable. At the same time, an account pretending to be the real Luna posted a vid. Sarah was sobbing beautifully into the camera. "Hey everyone, I'm comic author Luna. As a new author, my work is like my baby. I never thought my own sister would steal my pen name, plagiarize my unpublished segments, and swipe my drafts. She says Star Studio didn't pay her, but she's not even a signed artist here. She cried while showing a signed contract. The name at the bottom was Sarah, not me. How could this be? I was supposed to be the one who signed it. My blood ran cold as I rushed back to the basement. Frantically searching drawers, I couldn't find any trace of a contract. I racked my brain and finally remembered my boyfriend taking the unsigned contract, promising to keep it safe for me. They've been deceiving me since then. Everything I worked hard for was signed under my sister's name. I desperately searched for anything to prove my identity, but found nothing. All my work was copied onto a hard drive by my sister, and I couldn't even find a submission record. I stood there, frozen. Sarah, with her sweet looks and my work, took the internet by storm just like before. She became every comic fan's goddess, while I was doxxed and humiliated online. Ugly people are just envious of the goddess for being pretty and talented. Did she think stealing a few drafts would prove she's the author? There's a signed contract, you idiot. Besides the nasty remarks, vicious curses and memes about me were everywhere. I even got attacked and jeered at by comic fans on the street. When I was on the edge of a breakdown, my sister and boyfriend showed up holding hands, flaunting their victory in my face. "Sarah, this isn't over. Wait till we sue you." She threw my words back at me on purpose. My boyfriend gave me a mocking look and acted all sweet. "Look at you. You're not even as pretty or smart as Sarah. If it wasn't for your drawing skills, I wouldn't be with you. Talking to you makes me sick. You wouldn't understand. Sarah's image is better, and using your pen name draws fans and makes big money for our studio. If you quietly finish the series, Sarah and I might think about not suing you. Once the studio's making profits, we might even consider paying you a salary, like $200 a month, with room and board. How about that?" With those words, they clung together like conjoined twins and dipped. I felt a chill inside. I grabbed a lighter and burned all the scripts leading up to the finale. Forget the work. Let it rot in the hands of those two scumbags. I gave up on my dreams too. Sarah, you can. The scenery blurred past my phone beeped with a notification. The inspiring story of genius comic artist Luna and her boyfriend popped up on the screen. I clicked it, and it was an interview with Sarah. She answered the reporter's questions with a happy smile. "Yeah, my boyfriend and I met in college. Because I love comics, he quit his job to start Star Studio with me, supporting and helping me, and I owe my success to his efforts. Yeah, the male lead is based on him." Listening to this, the lightness I felt instantly turned gray, and I was lost in thought. I thought I was the one who fell for Alex during college. Back then, my sister and I both hit up a top city university. She was lively and chatty, known as the social butterfly, while I preferred solitude, spending my days honing my craft in the dorms and library. One day, my sister introduced me to Alex. Though I was hesitant to meet new people, I was drawn to his sunny, handsome face and kind demeanor. He was attentive and considerate, winning my trust. Once, he casually mentioned his favorite comic, which happened to be my first love, the one that got me into the field. At first, we became inseparable friends, and he soon became my loyal reader. We always saw eye to eye on those pieces of work. Later, it was only natural we got together. On the day he confessed, he nervously fiddled with the flowers in his hand and told me he hoped there'd be a place for him in my world, alongside comics. I said yes without much hesitation. After graduation, I didn't work. Instead, I decided to draw comics full-time. When I started on my first piece, Alex supported me unwaveringly. He said, "Ava, you can't just shut yourself in and do this. Comic artists nowadays need to understand the market and know how to market themselves." I looked up at him, a bit confused. "But I don't get that stuff." "No worries. Your sister and I are planning to start a comic studio, and you'll be our star. You focus on the art, we'll handle the business. We'll be your rock. If we work together, we'll succeed." Alex had this gentle, determined look in his eyes. I was beyond touched and vowed never to let them down. Back then, I really thought he was my soulmate sent by the universe. The only weird thing was his attitude towards my sister. Most times, Alex was super attentive to her. Even when I was sick with a fever, he was out watching movies and having hot pot with her. Whenever I felt down and called, he'd always respond with a resigned tone. "Ava, don't be like that. Sarah's just feeling down. I'm just trying to cheer her up. She's your sister, for God's sake. Are you really jealous? I thought you were mature, but you're letting me down. Would I care for her if she wasn't your sister? I'm only doing this for you, and you don't even appreciate it." Was I really overthinking things? Something still felt off, but I was bad with words. Every time I tried to argue, I didn't know what to say. In the end, I'd just agree and let it go. Not until I was on my deathbed in my last life did I discover the bloody truth. Turns out, I was just a cash cow they manipulated, a source for their gain. Alex's interest in me was probably all planned out. I remember the scene at that party. Champagne and wine were spilled everywhere, and the cake smeared on faces was worth $300K. My sister wore a designer gown, and Alex was on one knee, placing a blingin' ring on her finger. I wore outdated college clothes, my hair all messy, lips cracked, with dark circles under my eyes, like I stumbled into a world I didn't belong to. While they enjoyed life, I worked day and night until my health tanked. Stomach problems, low blood sugar, and neck pain were my constant buddies. They were all glamour and shine, whereas I was gaunt and weary, like a ghost drained dry. I knew then everyone at that celebration was feeding off me. The real culprits were the sister and boyfriend I trusted the most. The piercing ring of the phone snapped me out of my thoughts. I hit answer, and Alex's careless voice came through. "Ava, have you thought it over? Come back now, and Sarah and I can let the past go. If you behave, we won't make it official and embarrass you. But you had to act out, well, we'll just not hide it anymore. Come back and keep drawing. Let's all make money together, okay? Alex, let the real Luna in your studio draw." I chuckled and hung up. After a long day and night on the train, I finally saw sights I'd never seen before. Golden light falling over snow-capped mountains and forests. I rented a quaint local spot and spent my days lost in thought. The sky was bright and clear, and so was my mind. A month went by without me picking up a pen. The Luna account naturally stopped updating. The readers were pissed, bombarding with demands for the finale. What's up with Luna? Where's the ending? Disappeared? Is it going to be abandoned? So irresponsible. Meanwhile, Sarah and Alex, the jerk duo, kept harassing me nonstop with calls. I hit reject every time. Even my parents got involved, throwing harsh words at their daughter they hadn't contacted in ages. "You ungrateful child. Your sister wanted to make money with you, and you're ungrateful. We told you families help each other. How are you this selfish? Look how much your sister and Alex spent on you. How could you ditch your duties and run off? You ungrateful wolf." Even though I was used to their favoritism, I felt a pang of betalexel. I didn't argue much, just blocked them all. After the comment section was flooded with hate, Sarah couldn't hold on any longer. She finally posted a response. "I'm sorry, everyone. I've been sick from drawing day and night. The finale will be out tomorrow. Without me, how would that even be possible?" While I was lost in shock, the comments were filled with fans standing up for Sarah. "Luna's always been so hardworking. Can't believe people call her irresponsible." Oh, poor Luna. Worked herself sick and still getting hate. The next day, I clicked on Sarah's finale update and laughed. Compared to my perfect ending, it was a hot mess. More like a disaster. Their sloppy conclusion was full of holes, a botched attempt. All my well-crafted build-ups were ignored, leaving many stories incoherent. Even the character setups of the leads fell apart completely. That night, Sarah was trashed all over the trending charts, and nobody dared to defend her. Having a massive following is truly a double-edged sword. She got all the praise meant for me, and now she's getting doubly slammed. Did she make the ending like this just to get back at society? Waited this long for trash? Let's send her razor blades. Exhausted and sick. I think you've got some mental issues, dear author. Reading these brutal comments made me crack a schadenfreude smile. A few days later, complaints and reports bombarded Star Studio. Deals fell through, and lawsuits from various partners piled up with hefty compensation fees. Looking at the nearly bankrupt studio and Sarah getting roasted online, the weight in my heart quietly crumbled. I felt refreshed and rejuvenated. One sunny afternoon, inspiration hit me hard, and I poured myself some hot tea, humming a tune as I picked up my brush. The lines flowed like water, and another magical story unfolded under my hand. After finishing the first 10 chapters, I submitted them to a trusted comic website. Not even half a day passed before I got a reply. "This work is fantastic. You gotta work with us." The editor showered my work with compliments, and her screen was lit up with excitement. I couldn't help but chuckle and immediately sealed the deal. That day, I carefully wrote down my new pen name, Mori. I hoped this name, carrying a sense of leaving the past behind and full of hope, would lead me through a smooth journey. Seeing the signed contract filled me with excitement. With my comic halfway through updating, I started gathering my own loyal readers and fans. They praised and interacted with me daily, generously supporting me when the mood struck them. Though back to square one as a rookie artist, and my income barely covered rent and food, the richness of my spirit brought immense satisfaction and joy. But I never expected someone would mess with my peace, and chaos struck again. I was once more called out as a plagiarist, my identity revealed, and my name tarnished. Waking up that day, I noticed 13 missed calls from the editor and snapped to reality. As soon as I opened my phone, Natalie's account was frozen. All comments and messages were filled with criticism and scorn. The readers who once encouraged me were ridiculed and withdrew in shame. Others demanded refunds and turned against me. All because my original work had already been posted under Luna's alias, with each chapter released 2 days before mine. The key visuals and plot designs were identical to mine. The only difference was her artwork, and details weren't as polished. But no one cared about that. How did she get her hands on my work? My face went pale, and under the sun, a cold chill crept through my bones. The vicious insults and curses flooded in, suffocating me. "Ava, did you think a new alias would let you keep stealing others' work? Apologize. Really? Stealing her work thinking you could hold a candle to Goddess Luna? Have you no shame? This Ava won't go away. Fully support Star Studio in taking them down." In one night, my painstakingly crafted work was removed from the platform. Even my editor had to publicly apologize before deleting their account. "I'm sorry, Natalie. I know you didn't plagiarize, but the pressure is too much. I've resigned. See you around. I hope things get better for you." I stared at her Gilexed-out profile picture, my heart in turmoil. The following night, Sarah posted a cryptic response video. "I'm truly sorry, everyone. After my first work had a bad ending, I was devastated. I just wanted to update my ideas secretly on an alternate account, even leaving them all free. But I never thought my sister would still come after me. If the world is like this, Avabe, I won't pick up a pen ever again." Star Studio also released a statement that made my situation worse. Luna cherishes relationships deeply. The last project's major missteps and bed Alexel by family members can't be overlooked. She's now depressed. begging everyone to show a little kindness to our new author. With a few words, they dumped the blame on me. Readers who once criticized Luna now sympathized with her as the narrative completely shifted. Fatefully, I was back in the clutches of online harassment. That night, my heart raced as I lay wide awake, sleep eluding me with eyes as red as blood. The next day, abandoning my original work, I created a short comedic strip from one of my ideas. But just an hour before I uploaded it, Sarah posted a strip with the exact same concept on her page. Her caption read, "A small idea for fun, everyone have a look." It was almost a blatant taunt. Anger and resentment boiled within me. I refused to let fate win. I vowed to seek justice for myself. To figure this out, I decided to test things out with my own methods. I first tried creating offline. After finishing, I checked Sarah's page, and it remained unchanged. I let out a sigh of relief. Could she have planted a virus in my computer? I speculated, planning to post the rest of the updates on my personal page for free using my phone. But before I could finish uploading, Sarah updated it. With trembling hands, I clicked on it. The same, still the same. For the second experiment, I didn't finish the piece. Instead, I sketched some rough outlines on scrap paper, but soon the stuff I drew on paper was likewise updated perfectly on Luna's alternate account. I couldn't believe it and checked twice. Impossible. Did she have some kind of magical powers? Even though I'm a rational person, I felt a sudden urge to palex at a temple. My mind was a tangled mess, incredibly confused. So, I decided to try the same trick again. I tossed the pen aside, slept for 2 days straight, deciding to just let it all slide for now. But this time, even that didn't work. During my lazy days, Sarah's account kept consistently updated. The overall plot followed my outline steadily, without any hiccups. At that moment, a tiny piece clicked into place in my scrambled brain. Sarah probably stole my concepts and outlines first, and then hired a ghostwriter. So, when I was creating, she just copied everything over. Whenever I had drafts, she could have the ghostwriter finish them. When I did nothing, the ghostwriter would naturally continue based on the outline. Looking at it this way, it narrowed down the possibilities. After all, technological tools capable of stealing my work when I was offline were pretty rare. I pondered for a moment, and then sent all my belongings to be checked. Sure enough, the police found tiny working cameras in my watch, computer, tablet, and even my pen. Knowing the truth, I wasn't in a rush to expose Sarah and Alex. I needed to come up with a way to reveal their crimes publicly as brutally as possible. I asked an old contact to help get me into a live comic event as a new comic writer. Hearing I was participating, Sarah wouldn't miss the chance to humiliate me in public. But what she didn't know was that the event's organizer was famous for their unique events. It was less of a meet and greet, more like a comic artist's exam. At the event, Sarah was surrounded like a little princess, with Alex holding her hand. Meanwhile, I was shunned by all the artists due to the plagiarism incident, standing alone in a corner. Sarah scanned the room, then started speaking pitifully. "Sis, I can't watch you continue down the wrong path. Plagiarism won't end well. If you want, Star Studio is always open to you. I'm willing to teach you how to draw comics." She was tearing up as she spoke, and Alex comforted her quietly. A barrage of disdainful looks landed on me, but I just smiled. Who the real plagiarist is, well, the truth would soon show itself. Soon, the first round of the event began. The organizers were secretive about the event specifics, asking participants to volunteer. I raised my hand first. Sarah, eager to step on me, volunteered second. The host paired us up. First round, quick questions. The host pulled out a card with questions. First question, what are the advantages of full-page panels? I answered confidently. Sarah just froze, stammering. Second question, what is the golden ratio composition? No surprise, Sarah couldn't answer. The host, a bit embarrassed, changed the question. What's your favorite drawing software? Do you prefer digital pens or traditional tools? I kept smiling and answered easily, while Sarah's face showed growing panic. A stir began in the crowd below. Readers and other artists started whispering. Is Luna too nervous? Why isn't she saying anything? Forget the other stuff. Didn't you hear her whisper to the host asking what a digital pen is? That's not nerves. It's like amnesia. Does she not know what software she uses? Sarah opened her mouth, trying to explain, but quickly got ushered to the next round by the host. She looked relieved, thinking she dodged a bullet, but the second round was an on-the-spot creation. We were both given paper and pens by the organizers. The host would give a topic for us to draw, with a 2-minute limit. The audience below started whispering again. Avabe Luna's a practical artist and doesn't know the terminology. Yeah, those naturally talented ones usually don't express themselves well. I bet the plagiarist can't draw anything. Let's see Luna beat her. I took the paper and pen, glanced at a pale Sarah, then started drawing smoothly. 3 minutes later, I produced a simple comic strip. Cute little characters with round faces and stubby bodies, full of funny little moments. Meanwhile, Sarah was red-faced, sweating, her paper blank. The audience erupted, their faces showing shock. Oh my gosh, does Luna know anything? Is she really herself? Taking advantage of the audience's shock and doubt, I stood up and grabbed the host's mic, speaking clearly. I know you all think I'm the plagiarist, but today I want everyone to see the truth. I played an audio recording in front of everyone, and Alex's voice came through loud and clear. I hadn't thought about recording ahead of time, thanks to the tiny camera inside my watch. If it wasn't for your drawing skills, I wouldn't be with you. Just talking to you disgusts me. Sarah has a good image. She needs your name to attract fans. When the studio starts making money, I'll give you $200 a month for living expenses. Right after that, before they could react, I connected my phone to the screen at the venue and showed everyone my basement workspace and the evidence of Alex cheating. There I was, grinding away in tough conditions only to have it stolen. A cheating boyfriend who wanted to drain me dry. A sister who didn't get the basics of comics, but took all my precious work. Every truth laid bare at that moment. I didn't need to say more. Every audience member became my voice. Before long, a group of cops showed up and arrested the two of them for illegal surveillance, eavesdropping, and unlawful detention. There was a hush for a few seconds. Then the place went wild. Unlawful detention. I asked the officer, a bit puzzled. He gave me a smile and said, "Girl, just read the news. These two are real pieces of work." I pulled up an app and the first thing I saw was media coverage about them that made my eyes widen in shock. The headline read, "Star Studio imprisons and mistreats young comic artists." Turns out the updates using my outline weren't ghost-written, but done by young comic artists they tricked into coming. After I left, Sarah and Alex found new targets to leech off. Many of these artists weren't even of age, lured into Star Studio by their love for comics and dreams. But what awaited them was a prison like hell completely opposite of their shiny dreams. They lived the same way I did, sleeping in shared beds, eating instant noodles and leftovers, drawing around the clock, yet never getting paid. Alex kept them under control with promises of pretty dreams and bright futures. Every morning, artists had to get up early to shout slogans together. Every night, those who couldn't finish their work had to stand and write reflections. Alex would BS them with grand words. "Everything you're doing now is for your dreams." He filled his pockets using these young people's passions, just like he did with me. If it wasn't for the reporter who went undercover, everyone would still be in the dark. These two scumbags always pushed the boundaries of what I thought they could do. Everyone was shocked at how evil people could be. The audience were all comic fans, fuming and on the verge of tears. They cursed, hurling garbage and water bottles at the pair on stage. The duo scrambled away like rats. Sarah and Alex were hiding and arguing, each blaming the other. "It was Alex. He forced me. I didn't want to. Sis, help me. I'm innocent," Sarah cried, crawling towards me, pathetically trying to grab my leg. Alex was pale, collapsing onto the floor, mumbling, "It's over. It's all over." Hearing Sarah's cries, he turned his head slowly, then grabbed her hair and started hitting her. "You useless, worthless woman, it's all your fault." The police pinned him down, cuffed them both, and took them away. Later on, the police and lawyers helped recover a good deal of money for me and the kids who'd been duped, enough for us to live comfortably for a bit. I used that money to rent a big office and started my own studio called Dream Chaser Studio. On the day we unveiled the nameplate, a round-eyed girl rescued from Star Studio grabbed my hand. "Sis, I've decided I'm going to chase my dreams here with you. I'll create the best shoujo manga. Please take me in." "I want to too." I was sticking with Luna. Hearing the kids' voices, I couldn't help but laugh and turn to tease them. Aren't you afraid you're just jumping from a wolf's cave into a tiger's den? They just laughed and shook their heads. Luna, if anyone's gullible here, it's you. I pretended to chase them and we all burst out laughing together. Whether it's me or these kids, who knows when we'll catch up to our young dreams. But Alex and Sarah, they're stuck in a bleak, murky future in prison.